And it's 4 p.m. We're developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories are watching this Tuesday, December 2. The Independent Commission for Infrastructure, or the ICI, live streams its hearings for the first time today since the probe started. The first to appear on the ICI's YouTube channel is Laguna 4th District Congressman Benjamin Agarao, who denies any role in the flood control scandal. The ICI gave Agarao 7 working days to check the status of major flood control projects in Laguna. Meantime, House Majority Leader Sandra Marcos and Davao Congressman Paulo Duterte are also expected to appear before the commission in the coming days.
Malacanang said the first family is open to a lifestyle check following a report that labeled House Majority Leader Sandro Marcos as a top pork barrel beneficiary. The Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism, or PCIJ, alleged in its recent report that Sandro and his uncle, former House Speaker Martin Romualdez, received billions in allocable funds from 2023 to 2025. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said Sandro has already said that he's open to a lifestyle check by the ICI.
NBI agents from the Organized and Transnational Crimes Division entered 2 suspected condominium units of former Congressman Zaldico in Taguig City today. Authorities said that the inspection aims to photocopy documents that could serve as evidence in an investigation into alleged flood control anomalies and prevent their possible destruction. Cause still at large and believed to be hiding in Europe, specifically in Portugal.
And the palace also says that Cassandra Ong remains in the Philippines and is still being sought out by authorities. Again, Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said Ong is now considered a fugitive due to an outstanding warrant of arrest. The public is urged to immediately report to law enforcement if they spot Ong, who is facing human trafficking charges. Senate President Tito Soto says anyone questioning Senator Bato de la Rosa's weeks-long absence should file an ethics complaint. He argued that amending Senate rules to address such situations is unlikely, noting that such matters have traditionally been handled through internal ethics processes. Soto also confirmed that de la Rosa continues to receive his salary and also said that the senator's office remains functional despite his absence.
Siguro kung mayroong mga kababayan tayo na gustong tanungin itong ganyan, at saka let's say gustong panagutin ng isang legislator, mag-file sila ng ethics complaint. Yun ang pinakamagandang remedyo para matalakay natin yun. It doesn't necessarily have for us to come out and amend our rules and say something like that. I doubt if we can pass a rule like that even in the House sa atin sa amin. Kasi it's never been that way. Even in the under Congresses, ganun talaga eh.
Meantime, Senate President Pro Tempore Ping Lacson advised De La Rosa to, quote, hide well. De La Rosa has been absent from Senate sessions amid reports of an alleged warrant of arrest from the International Criminal Court. Back in 2009, Lacson also hid abroad after being tagged in a double murder case, which was eventually dismissed.
Ang advice ko sa kanya, kung wala siyang intention na mag-surrender, magtago siya mabuti. Ang advice ko sa law enforcement, hanapin niyo siya mabuti. Trabaho nila yan maghanap Sa chat group namin, meron kami lahat ng all senators. So, I found time na kumustahin lang siya. Sabi ko, kumusta ka na? Mag-ingat ka lang, gano'n. Ang biro niya lang sa akin, sir, i-break ko yung record mo sa pagtatago. Tapos may haha. Yun.
The soldier discharged after sustaining lifelong disability is thanking President Bongbong Marcos. Here's former Captain and now Major Jerome Hakuba.
Mr. President, sir, maraming salamat po, sir, sa inyong pronouncement na ako po ay inyong i-extend sa aking serbisyo. At maraming salamat din po, sir, sa promotion at sa inyong tiwala sa akin na ipagpatuloy pa rin ang aking serbisyo sa kabila ng aking kapansanan. Sir, request permission to proceed, sir.
Before this, President Marcos ordered a review of the military's Complete Disability Discharge or CDD policy. A CDD removes personnel from service due to permanent injury that prevents them from returning to duty. Acuba lost his eyesight in a 2016 clearing operation in Maguindanao, but Marcos says wounded soldiers should not simply be released after risking their lives. He has instructed the Defense Department to review the rules and craft a new policy to ensure similar cases are handled with better support and recognition. The chief executive also announced Captain Cuba's promotion from Army Captain to Major.
Isuspindi na yung CDD ni Captain Hakuba. Bukod pa doon ay dapat ibigyan siya ng promotion. Maghanap tayo ng mga iba't ibang posisyon na pwede pa naman siya yung ating mga tinatawag na the major adaptive duties.
Joining us today, sorry, nakatulog eh. Storycon's resident political heckler and sleeping beauty.
Nahawa na yata ako kay Manny Mugato. Nakatulog.
Katulog ka talaga?
Jet lag.
You mean the stories were that boring habang binabasa namin?
Jet lag. Kararating lang last Sunday.
Ano na eh, Tuesday na eh.
Last Sunday.
1 week sometimes ang jet lag.
Ganun ba?
Ano ko ba?
Hindi ako
Hindi nga.
jet-setter.
Coming back from Europe is the worst.
Oh, yeah, I can
Oo.
imagine.
At hindi
Yung
first
papunta,
at saka
okay.
second day.
Oo.
Third at saka fourth
Exactly.
day.
Yung papunta, okay lang eh.
Dapat
Okay.
dapat natin ginising, no?
We just continue on up until
Ronald, what do you have to say about that?
Nakaganti kayo ha. Nakaganti.
Tingnan natin kung
From
gising to isa.
Nakaganti
Philippine
yung
Star.
principal.
And from the Philippine Star, we've got, of course, Editor-in-Chief, Ami Pamintuan. Hi, Ami.
Ito mo, gising to.
Gising ka, Ami?
Hi everyone.
Editor yan eh. Gising yan.
Gising ako pero malat ako.
May sinigawan ka na naman, no?
Hindi kapag galing ka dun sa winter. Kabalik sa
Winter,
init,
winter.
naggaganito.
Bluer than blue yan ha. Bluer than blue.
Bluer than blue.
Eh paano bukas, Ami? Namamaos ka pala.
Okay lang. Sanay naman sila sa eh.
O kamasabihan ni Ami. Ito si Ami na gano'n eh.
Okay, so,
Korea.
Korea.
Korea. Oh, okay. 안녕하세요.
Malamig na ba? Sa France, nag-i-snow na eh.
Malamig na.
Nag-i-snow na sa
December
France.
na eh, oo.
Nagulat ako pagdating ko ron, may snow.
So,
Wala pa snow.
ICI has finally begun live streaming its hearings after public clamor.
Nagsalita daw si Chairman Andy Reyes na personally ay hindi niya gusto.
Ang live streaming?
Oo.
Well, I don't know if, sa totoo lang, I watched part of it and hindi ko alam if this is really the way they conduct it or nag-iba yung mannerisms because naka-live stream. I don't know if
That'll always happen naman.
That always happens, right?
That'll always
Once
happen.
people know that they're live, that other people can watch.
Some people
But honestly,
perform when they know that there's a
the
camera.
cameras
Some
are
people
on them.
Parang dito,
get
iba-
more
It,
quiet.
it
Iba ako
felt
pag
very
wala ito.
performative. Iba ka pag wala ka dito. You mean,
Wala.
mas mabait kapag nandito.
Hanggang dito, ang bait-bait ko. Ayan.
Mabait na yan.
Yan.
Sige na nga, pagbihin
So,
natin.
serious question. Wala naman siguro aamin na may kinalaman sila sa flood control scandal, right? Every single time that we have to read a news item about an ICI hearing, sasabihin, so-and-so vehemently denied that they were involved in the flood control project.
pero yung
So
role
if you
ng-
have everybody denying that they knew anything,
Hindi, yung role ng investigator,
Is-
papamukha niya yung kanilang ebidensya.
Oo.
Bakit may ganito?
o kaya nga,
Diba? Yan ang gagawin nila.
which I don't think is happening in this case.
Oo, ba't may ganito? Ba't may ganyan? Diba? Gagawin din sila. O, ba ito, litrato. O, gusto, o, ito.
Oo. Or ikaw yung district representative for 8 years running. Paano mo masasabing wala kang kinalaman sa ghost flood control
Gagawin mo.
projects?
Hindi yung
But-
makikinig ka lang, tapos kung anong mga kasinungalingan yung sasabihin, tatanggapin mo lang.
But that's the sense that I got. Hindi ko alam if napanood nyo, but I watched part of it. And
Hindi
yun nga.
kasi, ang iniintay niyo parang sa Senate yung presiding officer dyan is a former justice sa Supreme Court. Yung pagtatanong nila parang sa korte. Hindi ka pareho dun sa Senate na kung sino-sino pwede magtanong, pwede nag-aaway-aaway pa yung mga nagtatanong. Walang ganyang klaseng fireworks dyan.
Alam mo, Ed, dapat nilagay dyan si Ami at saka si Reg.
Hindi. Hindi, Ami. Yun nga
Maayos
yung,
yung mga tanong eh.
yun nga yung pinagtatakan ko. As a judge, you are very much evidence-based. You want to see what's in front of you. You don't just go by what the person is telling you is what I was thinking. Kaya lang, when I listen to it, parang hindi ganun ka, they don't go as deep in the questioning, is the sense that I got. Hindi katulad ni Senator Ping, for instance, alam na niya yung kwento eh. So pag nagtatanong siya during the hearing,
Sige.
he's just getting it to as corroboration. Or, you know.
Hindi kasi parang ang takbo niyan, parang ayaw nilang masabi na biased sila eh. So pakikinggan nila lang lahat ng sasabihin. O sige,
Kausapin ka raw.
kunin namin yung sasabihin mo. O, ganyan ang takbo
Kausapin
niyan.
mo, Adri.
Mas para siyang korte.
Oo, tama,
Mas
Ami.
para siyang korte.
Justice-
Hindi ka pareho sa Senate. Yun na nga, you are actually grilling
Justice, saglit
people
lang
na ano.
busy pa.
Ito, may tawag si Justice.
Justice Reyes, bakit naman ganun yung line of questioning? I mean, because obviously, every single person who's gonna appear there is gonna say, I don't know anything about it. I
Wala
was
akong
not
kinalaman
involved.
dyan."
I did not take any money from it, right? Obviously. Wala naman talaga aamin. So, isn't it their job to get to the truth of the matter? Okay, may dalawang conflicting testimonies. Paano natin malalaman? How will we find out, right? So, they have to put in the legwork, the investigative work, right? Dapat humingi sila ng mga
Tsaka mahalaga yung optics
Documents.
eh. Optics,
Oo.
gusto makita ng tao eh. Na, kaya nga kayo tinawag
Eh, talaga, wala kayong ano. Hingi kayo ng hingi live stream, na nag-live stream, reklamo po rin kayo.
Kaya nga kami humingi ni live stream para makritik eh. Di ba?
Kaya lang sasabihin ni Justice Reyes, ang kukulit nyo kasi, ayoko na nga mag-live stream eh.
Hindi paltan nyo ako.
yan.
Kaya lang upo rito.
Kung gusto yun ng fireworks, maghintay ka ng ng
Blue ribbon.
Senado.
o
Sa
kaya
Senado. O kaya doon sa
Chinese New
Ombudsman.
Year.
O sa ombudsman, that's right. Oo, kasi by the time na dumating siya sa ombudsman, dapat nandun lahat yung evidence.
Ay, maganda yung
Remember,
susunod.
transition lang yan eh. Senate yan, tapos ICI, tapos Ombudsman.
Sa
Maganda yung susunod, si
Nasagot
Pulong.
Kaya medyo
At saka si Sandro. Diba?
Pero naghumingi na executive sessions,
Oo.
which
Pero-
means behind closed doors.
Pero dapat nandun ka.
Para makinig.
Para magtanong.
Yeah, because number one daw si Sandro in terms of allocable funds, right? According to the PCIJ.
Di ba yun ang sinasabi nga niya, Chavit Singson? Yan ang matagal na sinasabi ni Chavit Singson, bakit di niyo imbestigahan yung Ilocos Norte? Di ba? Kaya tingnan natin. Ngayon, kung Ilocos Norte, may sabit ba yung senador na from Ilocos Norte also? Isang tanong pa rin yan. Kasi isang buong pamilya yan eh. That's a dynasty in Ilocos Norte. Tignan natin kung saan tatama yung ganyang mga akusasyon.
Napag-usapan
Diba?
yung senador from Ilocos Norte. Hindi mo pa pinangalanan.
Hindi. Senate, si Amy has been talking about it di ba?
Oo.
Tingnan natin kung hanggang saan. Mga kamag-anak niya yung mga nandun, yung mga local officials doon.
Yeah, but what I'm also looking for and waiting for is yes, the allocables are controversial.
But they're not
may be
illegal.
irregular. Yeah, they
They're
may
not
be irregular,
illegal,
but they're
huh?
not necessarily illegal. I think the PCIJ story was careful not to go in that direction yet until they find any evidence to the contrary. In other words, wala pang binabanggit sa story ng PCIJ na merong nagbulsa doon sa allocables. It's just that it's an unusual proportion of allocables to one district where you have a small population of 320,000
And
people.
during the time when his father was already in position, in power.
Versus the
Right, so
comparison of
ito
a
yung-
district in Rizal with 1.2 million people getting only half the allocables of Ilocos.
Pero, yeah, I mean, it's the same as with the campaign donations argument, right? Hindi naman siya
Yes.
technically illegal. Yung, we keep coming back to the idea that in
Hindi,
insertions...
illegal yun.
Ay, sorry, campaign finance illegal. Pero binaliktad lang yung, yung
It's a
rule.
matter of interpretation then.
What was the other thing I was thinking of?
Yung insertions.
Insertions.
The
Technically,
insertions
hindi
per se
siya
are not
illegal.
necessarily legal yet. Not unless you can prove that there was
Oo.
some
Kasi,
money that was
yun naman
pocketed.
talaga trabaho ng Congress, di ba? They have to fight for their districts. You have limited resources. Everyone has to fight for more money for their districts para ma-improve. Yun naman talaga idea behind insertions. So it's not illegal. It's
Pero
what they did to the insertions that was illegal.
The PCIJ
Yes, at saka
story was more...
At saka kung nasa center of power ka, alam ka ng presidente, dapat mas circumspect ka. Diba? Dapat mas conscious ka na,
Circumspect
teka,
kapag delikadesa na lang.
Ayun,
Mas madaling intindihan delikadesa.
Yun yung-
Circumspection is a bit more, requires more introspection. of
Sublime.
People.
Sublime. Sublime.
So actually, that's
Pero
what
ano
we're
yan
all looking for.
nasa sistema nga yan Nandun kasi siya sa system, di ba? Kapareho din yan ng pork barrel noon. Alam naman natin, merong kanya-kanyang allocation, yung congressman, yung senador. It's part of the system, kaya lang inabuso Pareho ng insertion, PDAP, kung ano-ano yan. Yung problema, kapag yun na nga ginamit, you go around, you use the system para nga magkaroon ng mga to favor yourself, to enrich yourself.
Yeah.
Yan ang problema natin ngayon.
I think the
well,
main
yung
point,
yung very essence ng allocable, salita na lang parang questionable. ay,
Oo nga,
ay
ramdam mo
parang may problema. Di ba? Pero whether that is already illegal is another thing. Pero yung very essence ng allocable, may problema na. Di ba? Ikalawa, yung sinasabi nyo, nagamit ba talaga yan ng maayos? Doon, very clear
that's
yan.
another layer.
Pag hindi ginamit ng maayos, illegal yon, di ba? At ikatlo, yung sinasabi ni Ed na delikadesa, di ba? Kung ikaw yung anak ng presidente, tapos ikaw yung pinakamaraming allocable, parang
Of course.
medyo hindi maganda pakinggan, di ba?
Hindi talaga maganda. Hindi talaga
Nagkakaloko.
show.
Nagkakaloko-lokong allocables. So.
So, yun lang yung mga consideration, no?
I think what the PCJ is trying to drive at is that's why the PCJ called it the new kind or the new evolution
pork
of the pork barrel.
barrel.
If before the pork barrel referred to lump sum funds, these are not lump sum funds anymore, but these are still tainted with too much politicking. In this case, you have the president's son backing the biggest amount of allocations. Not through lump sums, but through genuine.
Hindi, kaya nga pinagbawal yung pork
appropriations.
barrel, no? Dahil doon sa Napoles scandal, ay para talaga mag-focus na yung ating legislators
San?
sa legislation.
Oh.
Diba? That's why ang tawag sa kanila ay legislators. Diba? So, ang problema, parang tingin nyo ba may tatakbong congressman at saka senador kung walang pork barrel? Just asking, ha? Walang judgment, ha? Wala akong judgment.
Meron naman siguro kahit paano in a house of 320 lawmakers.
So, ilan?
I don't know. Pero
Percent.
siguro naman meron kahit
Ilang percent?
paano, di ba? You can't be so jaded as to say lahat sila. They're not
There
gonna run.
are more perks than just
Sino
the pork
jaded?
barrel. So there are more perks other than the pork barrel.
Sino jaded?
Pero kasama kasi sa legislation, Ronald,
Sino jaded?
yung crafting ng budget
Oo.
Kasama siya sa it's a law Yung GAA is a law. Kaya yun ang kasama yun sa trabaho nila. Kaya kung ano-anong pumapasok doon na sistema para,
Kaya nga.
yun ang sasabihin naman ng mga congressmen, we have to fight for our districts. Siyempre, pagalingan niya kung sino daw yung mas malaki.
Yes.
Yun ang sinasabi ni Tobit Chanko.
Oo.
Pagalingan kami kung ano yung makukuha namin para
Correct.
sa mga namin,
Oo.
pagmamalaki namin nun actually.
Oo.
Constituents namin.
Yun yung problema sa
to,
ating...
ganito kalaki.
And then, depende rin yan sa relationship mo doon sa appropriations
Yun
chair.
yung problema, Ami, sa ating political system. Dahil sa ibang
Yan na nga,
mature
oo.
democracies, malinaw yung delineation between executive
Yes.
and legislature,
Yes.
di ba? Parang hindi pinagtatalunan yan dahil wala talaga yan.
Parang ministerial lang sa kanila yung sa budget, di ba?
Oo.
Kung ako sakali, meron karong mga mga correction or whatever. Kasi from the crafting of the budget, dapat nandun na yung mga priorities Bago yun ibigay sa Congress. Eto, pagkabigay sa Congress, saka kanya-kanya, parang naglalulundagan lang. Ako,
It's
me,
every
di ba?
man for his
Yun ang
own.
problema.
Tapos meron ka pang small committee, no? Meron ka lang insertions,
That
meron ka
operates
pang
in
small
secret.
committee, meron BICAM ka pa, di ba? Ang daming levels ng insertions. Yun yung problema.
Yes.
Ang daming levels of anomalies.
Kaya ang daming levels ng possibility for corruption.
Alam mo, it keeps coming back to the argument that we are making we don't need new laws. The pork barrel
We have
was
so many
already-
laws.
Well, the pork barrel was already outlawed. Remember? Kaya lang, it's because people keep finding loopholes around it. Again, coming back to yung pet issue ko, which is yung campaign donations, campaign financing. Malinaw naman yung batas. It's just that they keep arguing their way around it. And the institutions that are supposed to uphold these laws, well, they fail. They don't uphold the laws, right?
Yeah,
that they
yes.
themselves crafted.
Yes, the system is rotten. The system is so imperfect and cynical. Pero, kahit baguhin mo yung system, kung hindi ka maglalagay ng mga bagong tao, di ba, na consistent with the ethos of the system, ay ganun pa rin, magdi-deteriorate pa rin yan. Dahil kahit meron kang mga batas na pinagbabawal yan, eh yung mga tao naman, mga
Genius.
mga skilled
Kaya
sa
nga,
pagmamanipulate.
genius. Oo,
ng mga kwan, di ba?
ano sila, magaling sila mag-manipulate.
So, kasama sa pagbabago ng system ay pagbabago rin ng mga tao. Kaya maganda nga yung anti-dynasty provision. Yung bill na
Kung
tinutulak
pumasa.
ngayon. Oo.
May pag-asa ba
Sino
yun?
ngayon ang cynical?
May pag-asa ba yun?
Ano naman sabi ni
Ganda ng tawa
Ekerisi
niya.
kagabi, magpa-file daw siya ng petition to the Supreme Court asking the Supreme Court, to basically define dynasties na because of the failure of Congress to act on the anti-dynasty
Hindi pwede yan.
provisions
Ang constitutional
in
yan.
the Constitution.
Meron ng
Kaya,
petition
I
sa
was talking
Supreme
about
Court
that, eh.
to compel Congress
That's an
to
extra.
pass the enabling law.
I was
Hinihintay pa
asking
natin
that,
yung ruling ng
can
Supreme
the Supreme
Court
Court
doon.
just write
Yun,
a new
pwede
Pero-
nilang
pero
gawin
di ba,
yun.
Ami, yun nga
Hindi
ang
sila pwede
nakatable ngayon.
mag-legislate.
Di ba yun ang nakatable ngayon, the possibility of a new law,
Hinihintay natin.
di ba, implementing the constitutional provision against dynasties. Yun yung nakasala
Yun ang
ngayon.
petition sa Supreme Court.
May debate ngayon yan. Hanggang anong level ng consanguinity? May nag-file ng bill hanggang fourth.
Yung version ni
May-
Congressman Arisa hanggang second degree of consanguinity
That's
lang.
second.
parang
Oo.
SK yan.
Oo.
Sa SK kasi hanggang second degree bawal. Eh.
Pwede na yun,
Diba?
hanggang second.
Yung iba, yung akbayan
Mahigpit
propose
yung
hanggang
second,
fourth.
ha?
Possibly yung compromise hanggang third.
Sa bagay, pwede na yung second.
Hanggang fourth?
Hindi, pero nga ang compromise
Fourth hanggang
dyan,
pinsan-pinsan yun, di ba?
Kaya,
Second
kalayo na yung fourth.
hindi, kung
Hindi, sa
kung lahat
anti-graft
naman ng
hanggang
pinsan mo
fourth.
nasa gobyerno, di ba?
Yung mga
Find
pagsak
something
natin
else to do.
hanggang fourth.
Find something else.
Pwede
to
kayong
do.
guest natin,
You
pasok
can-
natin, kayo talaga.
Bakit? You can help the country without becoming a politician, can you not? Okay.
But you can't help yourself.
Ikaw nagsabi?
Tanong mo ba sa, kanino mo tanong yan?
Kay God.
Oo nga, yung guest,
Si Lord.
nandyan na.
Okay,
guess natin.
let's I have to switch gears and bring in our guest for today. We're talking to Deputy Executive Director for the CICC, or Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center, Yusek Aboy Paraiso. Welcome to Storycon, Yusek.
Musta, Yusek?
Hi, Yusek.
You're on mute, sir.
Nakamute po kayo.
Yusek.
Good morning po, Moms Ami, Ma'am Regina, Sir Ed, at kay Sen Edu po. Good morning. Ay, good afternoon po.
Edu talaga eh.
Yung pangalan ko, nakalimutan
Edu,
ko.
Edu.
Ano name mo?
Well, sir, you were earlier quoted as saying na na cryptocurrency na yung ibang perang nakuha dun sa flood control scandal.
Ano bang basihan niyo dyan,
What's your
Yusek?
basis, and do we have amounts already? Like how big went into
Or at
cryptocurrency?
least something indicative.
Yeah. Yeah, we have something indicative based on intelligence reports po na we're talking to several, we monitored several chatters asking for exorbitant amounts of USDTs pagdating ho dito. And something factual po, nakausap na rin ho at saka naka-recover po si AMLAC ng USDT amounts po based on cooperation with the exchange. So yun po yung mga basis po natin for saying that.
Ano tong exorbitant amounts, Yusek? What are we talking about here?
Kasi usually ang mga transactions for USDT, malaki na ho yung mga 10 million. Ngayon, they're asking for a one-time transactions of about 50 to 100 million. So yun yung nakikita natin sa mga chatters, both on the dark web at saka sa mga ibang mga messaging platforms na ginagamit ng mga USDT transactions.
Are we talking about pesos or dollars?
So they converted into from pesos to dollars.
So when you say
Yun yung currency niya. So yung one USDT is equal to $1.
so you're looking at 50 to 100 million dollars equivalent.
No, in pesos po yan. So 50 million pesos ay ipapalit nila. So equivalent to $1 million in a single transaction po.
So what you're saying is what's suspicious is you're seeing or you're
spike.
monitoring one-time transactions
not only the quantity, yung one-time transactions, pero yung maraming nagtatanong. So we suspect they're divvying their money up, tapos marami silang representatives at maraming mga nominal people that they're asking to exchange their pesos into USDTs and other forms of cryptocurrencies.
So, paano po yung magiging remedyo nyo doon? Can you stop it? Can you
Well,
monitor?
that's,
Well, you can monitor, no? Pero can you stop it?
Yun nga yung Ma'am Ami, that's the challenge for government right now because our laws do not allow us to regulate these exchanges, especially they're located abroad po. So that's the challenge. We're relying solely on cooperations kung saan sila nakabase. So apart from cooperations with the exchanges, cooperations with these groups, tinitingnan din namin ngayon doon sa technical working group, we're reviewing all our MLATs, yung mga mutual legal assistance treaties natin with other countries. So even if they're located outside the country, we can have a chance of getting back these currencies even if they're tokenized in cryptocurrencies.
Hindi kayang i-reach yan ng ano. Halimbawa, Bangko Sentral has cooperation with central banks in other countries. Hindi
So
sila
we're
kaya.
looking at we were looking at the DOJ at saka ho yung mga not the BSP but our Department of Foreign Affairs for the treaties na meron ho tayo sa ibang bansa. So yung mga G2G ng Bangko Sentral, I don't think they have yung mga agreements na yan with other countries when it comes to regulation of these cryptocurrencies.
What,
Hindi ba may convention tayo? We're part of the International Convention Against Corruption eh. Pwede siyang pumasok dyan, di ba? And then we can demand it's binding yan to the signatory countries. Pwede nating i-invoke yun to get money na suspected na proceeds of corruption.
Tama, Ma'am Ami, no? I just came back from the ASEAN, I think barely a month ago. Isa yan sa mga pinag-usapan natin when it comes to digitalization and yung cybercrimes natin, recognizing it's borderless, pero nakaasa pa rin tayo doon sa mga MLATs natin, yung mga mutual legal assistance treaties natin.
what exchanges and what wallets are these hosted on?
So they have several markets. Una-una ho yung I think the most popular right now is yung mga USDTs. Because kailangan lang nyo yung mga cold wallets na tinatawag. So hindi nyo makikita talaga yung mga exchanges na to. Then we have cryptocurrencies, the usual yung mga Binance, so yung other exchanges po na yan. So in forms of bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies po.
Isn't Binance already banned in the country?
Oh, pero it's banned in the country, but if you have VPN, you can bypass the geo-fencing of several regulators. So it's necessarily banned in this country. But again, if you transact outside of the country, that's a possibility.
So are you saying that these suspected anomalous transactions are being originated in country using VPN, transacted on Binance as the platform?
So we have a lot of una-una ang pinaka-prevalent right now, and I think we're seriously looking at USDTs po kasi yun P2P transactions or person-to-person transactions. Again, the peculiarity of this or the nuance of this is kailangan mo lang ng cold wallet eh. So it's may cold wallet ka, papasok mo na sa laptop, transfer na, tapos you don't even see any records of the transactions except for the cold wallets eh. So with other cryptocurrencies yan, mahuhuli natin yan or at least we'll have a record of them because may mga systems tayo, may mga technology tayo that can track down yung mga cryptocurrency exchanges. So yun yung again the challenge of that technical working right now.
Sir,
Right.
for the benefit of the dinosaurs here, like katabi ko na tulog na alam nito 3.25 pa eh. Okay, yung cryptocurrency, you're saying that you're seeing a spike in the activity of cryptocurrency exchanges, which would look suspicious given the spike and given the amounts involved and given the circumstances where we're looking for so much money. Are you saying basically na you're afraid that the money that was stolen is being squirreled off abroad using tokens that are harder to track, harder to trace, and therefore harder to recover by regular means?
That's exactly what we're saying, Sir Ed. No? Like I said, hindi lang namin to monitor, hindi lang namin to nakikita. may actual proof na naka-recover tayo ng USDTs, yung AMLAC po natin, because they had an agreed, parang because of goodwill lang ng exchange, na pinagbigyan nila tayo na hinold nila yung transaction, hinold nila I don't know if it's a cold wallet or storage, tapos binarik ko nila sa atin. So again, that's based on cooperation, that's based on an agreement, goodwill, but something to enforce against these exchanges or these platforms, that's I think the particular gap in the law na wala ho tayo. And again, even if we have that locally, how do we enforce it if we see these assets doon sa ibang bansa na nakaalis na ng Pilipinas?
Sino
Diba-
nila? Sino yung nag-hold ng amount ng transaction na yun?
Si AMLAC po, Anti-Money Laundering
Hindi,
Council.
sabi mo
po
it was based out of goodwill. Who was the platform here? Who was the exchange?
I have, you have to ask the AMLAC kung sino yung nakatransact
because
nila
you're
or
saying
na
walang law.
pag-uusapan nila na i-hold yung transaction.
Okay, you're saying walang law right now, but hinold lang ng third-party platform out of goodwill to the Philippines. Okay.
Diba,
Yes.
Yusek, na isa ring dahilan kung bakit may surge dyan sa cryptocurrency ay dahil yung mga ibang mga may hawak ng mga pondo or pera na malalaki, nakikita nila na very delicate yung status ng piso ngayon, lalo na sa sitwasyon ng ating ekonomiya. So ang tingin nila, baka mas stable sa cryptocurrency than yung nasa peso yung kanilang pera. Diba isa rin yun sa posibleng dahilan kung bakit may surge? Dahil ang tingin nila, mas stable.
Tama ko, Sek, no? If it was solely based on sa quantity, not the quality. Kasi yung quality, yung parang one-time transactions na 50 million or bigger, doon natin na-detect if they're laundering the money. Pero tama ko kayo, it can also be attributed yung mga small transactions na yung mga tao medyo kinakabahan, they would move to a more secure currency po.
Can you
Attorney,
give us an idea kung sino tong mga Kasi sabi niyo, personalities. Ano sila? Government politicians, private persons, engineers.
From my understanding, Ma'am Ami, this is yung nakuha kong transactions from one of the contractors, but you have to confirm that with the AMLAC.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the contractors. Okay. So, sir, confirm yun, ha? It's one of those directly involved. Kasi I was wondering about that
Yes,
kanina, eh. Parang how were you able to trace na
Yes.
yung freeze ng AMLAC had to do with the flood control mess. So, it is one of the contractors.
Yes po.
The amount in this
politiko,
particular case was frozen. Ito ba yung 50 million or are we looking at a different amount?
A smaller amount po. And yes, it was frozen po.
And when were these transactions carried out? Roughly when? Anong
Well,
month?
I think from the update came yesterday, so it was somewhere between from our second TWG meeting up to yesterday. So sometime in between those 2 dates po, which was a month ago.
Kailan lang? Recent, ha?
Sorry, which would
Recent.
be, itong transactions, the large transactions that you're talking about happened just within the past month? So around November?
No, we monitored these large transactions when it comes to yung CICC monitoring po natin. Nakikita natin po siya, yung search niya came around mga the start of October, the start of October po. Nakikita na natin yung search. Kaya rin tumataas din. If there's a large demand, tumataas din kasi yung value ng palitan eh. We mentioned na 1 USDT is equal to $1, pero ang palitan USDT hindi equals to sa palitan ng US dollars versus the Philippine peso. To give you illustration, halimbawa, $1 is to 59 pesos halimbawa ngayon, pero yung 1 USDT is equal to 60, 61 pesos. May ano siya, may difference siya because of probably transaction fees.
So all of these happened around October. You did not monitor.
That's what when we monitored it. Pero yung actual freezing ng AMLAC do sa particular account na from that particular USDT account occurred somewhere between the last meeting of the ICI TWG, which is a month ago till now.
Right. So anyways, the transactions happened in October and you did not monitor anything before that? These kinds of large-scale transactions that are in your opinion, anomalous? You didn't monitor anything before October?
We monitor the chatter of the existence of the USDTs and the exchanges, and we monitored the spike by probably start or middle of October.
Because I'm just trying to piece together the timeline. If you're saying these are likely money that came from the flood control scam, I'm just wondering as well why they would only transfer in October. Di dapat before pa, right? Kasi this investigation has been going on for 3 months.
I wouldn't care to venture ano yung mga nasa isip ko nila basta we monitor trends, we monitor yung mga chatters within us.
Yusek, meron ba kayong coordination sa mga other law enforcement, international law enforcement agencies katulad ng Interpol Cybercrime Committee nila para dito sa ganitong klaseng mga krimen?
Yan yung talagang gawain namin dito sa ICI TWG ngayon. So we're tapping agencies that have agreements with other law enforcement agencies. For example, yung DOJ Office of Cybercrime po, ang mandate po talaga nila around 1175 is coordination with the other law enforcement agencies, particularly on cybercrime. So money laundering is also, digital money laundering is also cybercrime. So we are now trying to reach out to our friends, again, exploring yung mutual legal assistance treaties natin to get cooperation from our allies and friends which we have these agreements with. So sinisimulan na ho natin yan, and again, more than monitoring or getting to know layout of what's happening, if there is really yung dissipation of assets, particularly yung currencies natin papunta sa ibang bansa using cryptocurrency, we have to get a bigger picture based on those conversations now and cooperations with other law enforcement agencies.
Ang alam ko kasi, Yusek, mahaba na yung kanilang karanasan sa ganyang klaseng mga operations. Kaya we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Pwede na tayong kumuha sa kanila ng lessons at saka mga techniques on how to trace and even possibly recover these kinds of operations.
Yeah, tama ho kayo, no, Sec Ronald, no. In fact, like I was mentioning, I was part of that ASEAN delegation when it comes to cybercrime po. Marami na ho silang experience, pero kung ano yung na-experience natin dito sa Pilipinas, yun din yung mga challenges nila even in third world countries because nga of the innovation. Kasi nga, again, with the advent of cold wallets, there's no way to monitor the transactions since it's a P2P transaction. So these are the challenges that we, as a community of nations, have to address. That particular challenge na in-exploit mga criminal na yung mga jurisdictional or territorial restrictions natin, yung mga bansa, yung mga laws natin, hindi natin pwede i-translate and enforceable doon sa mga ibang bansa.
Okay.
You said do you have enough people sa CICC? Kasi medyo challenging yung hinahanap nyo ngayon, ano?
We are managing, Ma'am Ami, to be honest, we can do better. We can do better with in terms of manpower, in terms of yung mga technology na we can procure. But again, I think we are approaching this from a whole of government approach where in all agencies pull together all our resources, all our assets, all our expertise. Para naman again, I think the message was clear yesterday. We hear the Filipino people na kailangan namin madaliin to. Sabi nga namin, our work started yesterday, so kailangan madaliin namin to. That's why the ICI TWG for assets recovery, and apparently nag-expand na rin yung work namin from assets recovery lang, naging assets recovery and case build-up. So every Tuesday magmi-meet kami, pero every day may nag-assign na kami na tao to mag-coordinate with each other, and then we're developing this dashboard and system kung saan makakapag-request kami ng documents online, and then in real time ipasa sa mga agencies to hasten up the process ng mga pagsasabit ng documents na yun.
Okay, thank you so much for talking to us today. We're gonna have to leave that there and we'll check back in with you down the road for some updates. CICC Deputy Executive Director Yusek Aboy Paraiso.
Salamat, Yusek.
Thank
you, sir.
We just
Salamat
need
po.
to go on a very quick break. You're watching Storycon on One News. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.
We've got developing news in the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Edlin Gao.
And I'm Regina Lay. Still with us, Ami Pamindon of the Philippine Star and Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit.
Gising, Gising.
Gising-gising. Oh, hindi ka kailangan ganun-ganun.
In the second half.
Kaya talaga ginaganon ko eh. Yung sabi ni Aboy Paraiso, at least may na-intercept sila. But the fact that, they're outside of regulation means that probably, in all likelihood, meron nang na-dissipate.
Hindi ganun kadali ang cryptocurrency.
Oh.
Kaya nga dyan sila pumupunta eh. Ang hirap i-monitor niyan eh. Ang hirap. Kahit ang AMLA nahihirapan.
You don't need the IDs or ano. Or,
No, you don't.
Oo.
Walang ibang klaseng
That's the point
KYC
of,
doon.
Ano ba, reputation lang? Hindi siya...
No, I think you can open a wallet, pero yung sinasabi niyang cold wallet, you don't need to prove your identity. Right? So lalo na pag P2P, that means from you and
Person to
me,
person.
hindi ka na dumadaan sa
Wala kang bangko,
exchange.
wala kang institution.
Hindi ka na gumagadaan sa cryptocurrency exchange or sa stock exchange. Like first, here kunyari, bibili ka stocks, you go through a stock exchange to buy and sell, right? Doon, the transaction is from me to you.
Wala kaya tang taxes dyan, di ba?
Wala.
Oo.
Walang
Naglagay
tax.
ka sa bangko kasi.
Everything's taxed. Oh, kahit capital gains mo, may tax,
Yes.
di ba? Pero here, no. But,
Pero, Reg, tatanungin kita kasi business ka eh. Kahit naman mag-crypto, may pinanggalingan yan eh. Hindi ba matitrace yan? Siyempre may source yan.
may source.
Di ba? May pagmamulan siya kahit pa paano, meron kang trail doon eh. Kahit man lang sa umpisa.
Dati kasi-
I'm talking about kung sakasakali lang nahahabulin natin yung pera.
Yeah.
May pagmumulan nga. Kung may pagmulan ka, siyempre tatanungin mo saan napunta yung pera mo. Kahit inilagay nila dun sa ilalim ng mattress nila sa bahay. Kasi puro cash eh.
Yeah.
Di ba? Hindi naman pwede. Mukhang hindi sa bangko tinago yun eh.
Yeah.
May pinanggalingan pa rin yung cash na yun, di ba?
Yeah. Of
Makukuha
course.
pa rin natin. I mean, matitrace. Baka hindi makuha, pero baka matitrace pa rin, di ba? There's always a source.
Oo, there's always a source. We have to ask the banks.
I'm asking you.
We have to ask the
Ikaw
banks.
yung makakaalam sana
Dati kasi, if you don't have... Dati kasi nung hindi pa banned yung mga exchange platforms,
Yeah.
you could cash in through the banks. Like, meron ako Binance account, dadaan ko sa... I will cash in through BDO or BPI, any of the big banks, right? By the way, I'm not saying they're involved in this. Sinasabi ko lang as an example. Since the platforms were banned, like eToro, Binance, hindi ko na alam how people cash in. He was saying that dinadaan sa VPN, just like when you're streaming a movie na bawal dito, you go through VPN. Hindi ko alam if that also means you can use VPN to cash in through another third-party bank or financial clearing platform. You know what I mean? Because I've never
Or what
tried
if you have a bank account abroad?
Or what if you have a bank account abroad?
Hindi naman ban doon.
Magka-cash in ka sa Binance or sa crypto platform mo, dadaan mo sa VPN, and then you cash in like that. And then you don't do it in one go. You do it in tranches, right? So I don't know if that's what's happening. And for me, yung big question pa rin sa sinasabi niya, which is that most likely the funds were from a flood control contractor. I want to know how you found out. Because precisely as we were saying, it doesn't have the same checks and balances as regular banking processes, right? And how do you confirm the identity of the people who are transacting itong 50 to 100 million pesos that he was saying, that he's monitoring, that they're monitoring on the dark web? Yung chatter around the dark web is what he's saying around it.
Tito question. Kasi, di ba, ang pera is basically worthless eh. It's a symbol of,
Unless-
at least in the olden days.
Unless
It's a
you
symbol
use
of, it used to be a symbol of
Exchange.
a certain amount of gold in the banks. In the olden days. Ganun ba yung, in a way, ganun din yung cryptocurrencies? They don't really mean anything. It's just a symbol or a token of a token that you trade around.
Actually, I'm the last person to ask.
My friend
Si Mohamed. Siya na, tanongin mo si Reg nga, si Reg.
My friend messaged to say na pwede pa rin pala daw mag-cash in through the some local exchanges. I don't want to name them kasi baka sabihin we're
You mean local
imputing.
banks?
Hindi banks.
Local
Some
exchanges.
other clearing platforms. Pwede pa rin daw mag-cash in. There are some here that are known in the industry. But I don't want to name them.
Tapos
kasi
you mentioned kanina na
don't wanna
pinagbawal na at least yung Binance or Binance. Does that mean that most cryptocurrency platforms are banned here? Or just a few? Or just one?
They started with eToro. They banned eToro first, and then ang alam ko, they also banned Binance. Hindi ko alam if that now covers everything.
Anong basis sa pag-ban?
Because ano daw there was an issue before. I can't remember na. It started a couple of years ago. Parang hindi daw, they don't abide by local regulations. This is the with the SEC and the ICT. And then at some point they
Hindi sila makover actually ng regulation.
because they don't have offices here. Para
Yeah,
silang
yung technology is beyond the regulation.
Para silang Facebook that they don't really have an office or headquarters here, but they take money from Philippine investors. So hindi sila ma-regulate kasi yung domain was still a question mark, right?
Yung USDT is a cryptocurrency or that's a platform of cryptocurrencies?
It's a cryptocurrency.
It's a cryptocurrency. Yung Binance is a platform.
It's a platform,
of
correct.
cryptocurrencies.
Oo. So, ang alam ko nga, binan na yung Binance. So, that's why I was wondering, paano sila nakapag-transact still, according to him, 50 to 100 million, right? And again, how do you know for sure that these came from the flood control
Sabi nga
contractors?
niya, contractor daw mismo eh.
No nga, parang sigurado nga sila the contractor.
Obviously, alam nila kung sino.
And, well, at least he's claiming that siya hindi alam, pero alam ng AMLAC, kaya yung AMLAC humarang.
Siguro hindi nila sasabihin sa atin paano nila nalaman.
I guess so. Good point. With the platforms like eToro and Binance, I remember they never got around to getting a license to operate here, precisely because, sabi, ang narinig ko dati sa DICT, and this is on background lang, they didn't want to apply for licenses. I don't know how true that is. Because they don't see themselves as a Philippine entity necessarily.
But let me back up a bit. The question kanina for Aboy Paraiso is okay, you have this problem, maybe they're going to cryptocurrencies. What's the solution? If I got him right, sabi niya parang we're relying on our cooperation with the mutual legal assistance.
With other countries.
With other countries.
They're part of an international network, as Ronald was pointing out, right?
How
But yung
reliable
Interpol,
is that?
meron din cybercrime
Tama.
unit.
Actually, may mga nagpo-propose nga na in the future, wala ka na talagang pera. Lahat crypto na. May ganung klaseng proposal pa. Kaya hindi yan insignificant itong usapin na ito.
But how reliable is that given the fact that parang ngayon pala tayo naghahabol? Kasi mina-intercept na ng AMLA nga, pero for all you know, most of it has been dissipated or exchanged already.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and si Yusek Paraiso was correct in pointing out that other countries have the same problem. We're not the first to have illicit money
Being laundered.
dispersed, laundered through cryptocurrencies or all of these other digital platforms.
Actually, yung mga pogos are experts dyan.
Yung
Sila yung mga
Pogos
expert
pala.
dyan.
Oo nga, no? Even before. Speaking of Pogos, hindi kayo nakita ni Harry Roque?
Tinatawagan ko siya pero hindi sumasagot.
Hindi talaga siya sumagot in the end.
Hindi
Saan ka
sumasagot.
ba nagpunta, Ronald?
Sabi niya ay...
Sabi niya, try yung
sabi niya, mag-guest na lang sa Storycon. Basta wala ako.
Kasi pupunta ka ng Europe, I thought magkikita kayo. Hindi.
Actually, meron akong nabiling train ticket going to The Hague.
Okay.
Meron dapat akong lecture doon sa mga OFW.
Okay.
Pero last minute, dahil nga 4 days lang ako, nag-cancel na ako. Kaya
Nandun siya when Duterte's interim release decision was announced.
nakaumiwas siya sa akin. Tingin ko lang. Tingin mo?
Sayang. That would have been an interesting reunion.
Dala ka ng humba.
Luluto ako para sa kanya.
Kaya ayaw niya mag-guest dito eh. Nasar mo kasi. Okay, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining Storycon. I'm Ipamtuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star. Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit. Join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao, kapatid. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.